Good afternoon, Puckheads. It's your buddy Choppadong. We're going to hit you with another video today. We're going to walk through a slate breakdown. I don't have a lot of time today. Today is NCAA tourney day again, and I'm going to be heading out to a sports bar with a bucket of beer, a cheeseburger, and we're going to watch some basketball. So I'm going to try and get this done as efficiently as possible, put this out to everybody all at the same time, and then I'm going to call it a day and head on out of here. DFS life, am I right? I'll tell you what, I'll give you one quick stat of the day. It cracked me up. I was hearing it on the radio as I was driving around. Did you realize that Arizona basketball, University U of A, spends $3.1 million a year on that basketball program? $3.1 million a year on that basketball program. Buffalo spends less than $500,000 a year on their basketball program. So less than $500,000 in Buffalo beats $3.1 million in Arizona, and that's just the money that we know about. Hello. Anyway, moving on. Let's dive into some hockey today. And what we're going to end up doing, if you don't know me, I'm Choppadong. I am a coach and contributor inside DFSArmy.com. DFSArmy.com/ref/3 is the URL you want to follow to get to the website where you unlock all of the tools, the coaching, the advice, the players' picks, all of the banter that goes back and forth in a given day that is not out on Twitter with me or in a YouTube video. That's where you're going to find it. All sports, every sport. The optimizer's unlocked for everything from NASCAR to golf to NFL. Baseball's getting ready. Hey, baseball's getting ready, to tell you the truth. I have a baseball article set up on my Twitter feed if you want to go find that. My 3 key stats that I follow when I play DFS MLB. So keep this train rolling. We're going to party right on into the spring. When we jump in, I use our research station in the NHL tab on DFSArmy.com, and what I want to do is I want to show you a little bit of that. I'll unlock it for today for a little bit. I'm just going to run down a little bit. My details are in my Slack channel. When I go to news and notes, there's all my game breakdown details for all of my VIPs and everybody that follows along. And then, of course, we do all of the talking out here in the main channel. So point is, that's who gets the good stuff, is the VIPs. That's who gets the interaction back and forth and gets every single ounce of effort from 3 or 4 of us coaches and contributors on a daily basis as we start wrapping up the hockey season, start heading into baseball, where we're going to do it with a whole new batch of coaches. If you like me, great. I'm going to continue on into baseball. If you don't like me, tough shit, you're stuck with me. But anyway, all right, to finally dive into the research station, I want to show you how this sets up, and I'm going to walk through some of the games with you, and then I'll talk some players a little bit as well. But I'm not going to talk too much because I already put a lot of that in there for our VIPs. When you're looking at today, the Islanders and Washington on the slate. When I'm looking at Washington, I'm looking at a little bit lower numbers when it comes to the Corsi fours and Corsi against. There's not really a lot of high shots on goal that's necessarily going to happen in this game, but we do know New York Islanders are not a great defense. We also know that the Washington Capitals, that top line of Ovechkin, is not a great defensive unit. Oftentimes, you hear me preach this all the time. Teams that do a lot of scoring tend to forget about the defense on the back end. And so what we can really do is get a little ping pong going. I already know that Washington is going to hopefully do some scoring against New York, but Washington typically doesn't pay attention to the defensive side of things either, which opens it up for New York. The problem is New York's overpriced because their production lately has been really, really bad. So I'm not on a lot of Islanders tonight. I do like some of the Capitals, though. That top line in general, and there's a little bit of value that I threw out to our VIPs that you'll have to go find inside DFS Army's Slack channels. When I look at Dallas and Ottawa Senators, this is another one. You would think that being the favorite out of Vegas, that Dallas is going to have a great game tonight. I am not sold. This is an away game for Dallas. It's a home game for Ottawa. Ottawa's been hot lately. That top line in Ottawa has scored, that Duquesne line has scored 7 goals in its last 10 games. I kind of like that. When I look at the trends, I see that Dallas is the 12th most shooting team, facing the 31st shot against, or 27th in the last 21 days, shot against team in Ottawa. I would think Dallas would be doing an awful lot of shooting tonight and potentially some scoring. I think Vegas thinks that too. But the problem is Dallas isn't scoring even 2 goals a game lately. Their goals for is way down. When you look at the trend, their season is 2.8. Their last 21 days is 2.4. Down, down, down. Cold, cold, cold. I don't see anything changing that. I don't know if Hitchcock's messing with the lines. I don't know what. What I do see is the home team, who's running hot from 2.7 goals per game on their season average to 3.3. Hot, hot, hot. Going against cold, cold, cold. I like Ottawa in this game, personally. There's a few ways to mix and match and grab multiple lines of exposure and things, and a couple of guys I have targeted. I gave those picks to our VIPs. When you roll down to Nashville and Colorado, now this one's interesting. We have another coach and contributor in Anthony that said that he likes certain aspects of this game a lot more than others, and I know we are not going to see eye to eye on this one tonight. And I want to see if he can point something out to me that takes me off of where I'm at, because where I'm sitting right now, I love this game. Both teams are on back-to-backs, as you can see, and both teams are headed into Denver, into the altitude. Colorado was just in St. Louis last night. All right? Here's my thing. Nashville shoots. Nashville has a couple of hot lines rolling right now. Their second line and their first line are both rolling really well right now. And Colorado gives up shots. That's a green light if I ever saw one. And in a lot of cases, you get a couple teams that are a little bit tired. These guys are, you let down a little bit mentally or on the defense or whatever, and you don't have the same intensity. When you get a bad defense going up against a bad defense, which is not typically these teams' MOs, but on a night like tonight, you get a little sloppy defense going against a little sloppy defense, and it leads to an explosion. Happens in football all the time. You get the New York Jets go play the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had a good defense this year, but say, I don't know, Cleveland Browns. I mean, just to pick on a couple of teams that were poor defensively, and you end up with a shootout, and nobody supposedly sees it coming. No, the people that pay attention to these things, your coaches and contributors in DFS Army typically pay attention to these things, and we point these things out. Now, could it happen? Will it happen tonight? I don't know. Could it? Yeah, I think it could. I think it stands a good chance that Nashville goes bonkers. I think there's no hotter line right now. I don't care. I mean, Ottawa's hot, Florida's hot, whatever. But right now, I don't know if there's any better person playing than Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen and Tyson Barrie right now. These guys are on fire. And when they're going up against, everybody thinks Nashville's this tough defensive team, but they're not. As Nashville is scoring a bunch of goals, they're letting down a little bit on the defensive side of things. And that opens up Colorado. So I love McKinnon and Rantanen and Barrie tonight. I love Arvidsson. I love Turris, Smith, and Fiala. I like Ellis down on the defense. I don't like either goalie here, although Pekka Rinne's been phenomenal lately. I don't know how he's going to fare tonight. And so I don't think I'm going to be playing him in my cash games. You can pitch a shutout just like any other goalie on any given night. You'll have him all to yourself at that price and that matchup. But this game, to me, I'd like to see the backup in there more. I think it is, actually. I think Saros is the backup goalie in Nashville. I think I saw that. You're going to have to double check that. We have him written in here, Rinne, and go check that. If it's Saros, I'm going to like the game even more, because Varlamov has played back-to-back games if he plays tonight. If not, we get a backup, and that's a good situation for Nashville. And then if we get Saros, that's a good situation for Colorado. And we've got two defenses that are tired and going into the altitude that might be mentally a little bit lax. And when that happens, you might go bingity-bangity-boom, and it turns into an exhibition game where we go 6-4. Would it surprise me to see that? No. And if that's the case, you're going to want both sides of this game. I run down to San Jose and Calgary. This particular matchup, San Jose is running pretty hot on their top line with, Pavelski and whatnot. And Calgary leaks a little bit on their second line. They gave up, 4 goals in the last 10 games with Tkachuk and those guys. So turns out that the Tkachuk line's also doing the scoring for Calgary. Maybe not the last 3 games, but over the last 10 games they have. You got 2 lines rolling in Calgary. You've got a team that gives up a decent amount of shots in San Jose. You got the number 1 shooting team lately in Calgary. That's a high event situation for Calgary. They're going to be going in. They're shooting a lot going into a team that gives up shots. So Calgary is going to probably have its way with the shots on goal tonight. And if a few of those find their way in, you're going to want yourself some Calgary skaters. I'm not a big fan of San Jose on the road. I know they were all right in Edmonton a couple days ago, but I'm not going to make a habit of that. Okay? Now, as far as players, again, that's for our VIPs. The matchups and the lines there are sometimes a little bit goofy. Detroit, fade the hell out of them. I'll tell you, I will go into exactly as much detail as I went in with my VIPs. This is your sneak tip for the day. Fade Detroit. All right. That's literally all I told them. Anaheim side of things, a 220 favorite. Anaheim's running a little bit hot on their top line. Detroit's not great defensively. They're not terrible, but they're not great. And that top line, Anaheim, is playable tonight. I don't know if they're my favorite line in the world, but they're definitely Getzlaf, Rakel, Perry, a little bit of Silfverberg on the second line. They are all in play. And honestly, I think the goalie's in play. If it ends up being Gibson, I think you're in a pretty good spot. Detroit's on a back-to-back as well, it says. I didn't know that they played yesterday. I didn't pay any attention. I haven't paid attention to Detroit in a week or two, so they could have played 5 games in a row. I might not even know it. Last game of the night, Minnesota and Vegas, and this is another tricky one. This one I'll share a little bit with you. Minnesota's running really, really well. We saw what New Jersey did to Vegas 2 nights ago, scored 8 on them. I think that's largely because Vegas is missing Riley Smith and James Neal. I think their top 2 lines are incomplete right now. And because those top 2 lines are incomplete, I think it's got them a little discombobulated. And therefore, their offense is down a little bit. Their defense is certainly down quite a bit. I like Vegas at home most nights, but when they're not exactly healthy, I don't really know where to go. I can see this game being a shootout. I can also see it being lopsided like Jersey did to them. I think they'll still score some goals, 3-4 goals. I just don't know what they can stop. Statistically, Vegas, the second line, has given 6 goals in its last 10 games, and the first line has given 4. That top 2 lines has given 10 goals in the last 2 games, or last 10 games. That's not good. Now if you can score to keep up with them, win games 5-4, good on you. But when you get blown out 8-3, something's not right. I don't think that's necessarily a fluke. But anyway, if you want to know the exact teams or exact players on Minnesota, because obviously they've got a couple of different lines. There's value there. Am I taking value? Am I paying up for it? And when it goes to Vegas, being that Vegas has 2 crappy lines, that ought to be a hint to you. It probably doesn't matter which ones you take. You could probably do it. Depends on what you want to do on the rest of the slate. In Vegas, maybe I'm on the game, maybe I'm off the game. If I am, maybe on it a little bit. What are you going to do with that Tuck dude or Tooch or whatever his name is on that top line? Is he a little overpriced now? I think his price jumped to $4,200. So again, to do that stuff, you've got to jump into Slack and you've got to be a VIP. And the way you do that, you go dfsarmy.com/ref/3, enter code CHOP, CHOP, get that 10% off. Friends don't let friends pay retail. Follow me out on Twitter at Chopadonk. Like and subscribe to the video channel because we're going to roll this baby right on through baseball. And hopefully I get to coach you guys up a little bit, show you a little bit of the contests that I play and why, teach you a little bit of bankroll management, introduce you to the other coaches inside dfsarmy.com, and hopefully we turn you into a lifelong member and we all just bootstrap each other and head straight to the top of the leaderboards, which actually, by the way, before I leave you, one more thing. Where is he? I actually got to go in here, I think. Right there. $2,000 winner. Not only did the $2,000 winner, DFS punter, say that he got a lot of his picks from the coaching staff and the Domination Station Optimizer inside DFS Army. Not only that, he beat a lineup seller in Roto Radar, and he beat Tommy G's Guru Elite. Now, I don't know about you, but if I compare prices, we're $40 a month. And Roto Radar I've seen is over 100, and I know that Guru is charging by the season. Baseball is like 180 and then another 160 if you want to unload the optimizer. That's $300 and $350. Divide it by 6 months, you're at $60 a month. Or yeah, $60. Let's see, we're cheap. We're less than that. And not only that, you don't only get one sport with us, you get everything. You want to play some NHL? Do it. You want to play some NBA? Do it. You want to play? You don't have to buy extra seasons. We're not here to get rich. We're here to recoup the costs that it takes to pay our staff and actually recoup the cost of some of these tools that we've developed and the spread, the optimizer, and all that stuff. That's what we're here for at DFS Army. We're not here to get rich quick off of you guys. We're here for the long haul. We're coaches. We help you build better lineups. DFSArmy.com/ref/3. Coupon code CHOP, CHOP. I will see you when I see you.